All right, and welcome everybody. So this is a iHomefinder IDX control panel right here. First thing I want to take a look at here today, we're going to look at first thing off the bat is called markets. And markets are a way for you to highlight specific markets. Depending on how the MLS outputs the information, the markets don't necessarily need to be a zip code or a city. They can also be an area or a subdivision. We're just going to take a look at how you create a market here. Now, note here, this looks just like your search page. Market creation is done exactly like the search page. I'm going to grab the More tab here. Some systems say filters. And for instance, if I only wanted to look at listings of fireplaces or horse properties or pools, these are advanced search options. And you have things down here like subdivisions, MLS areas, etc. So if you wanted to look at like specifically an MLS area, like we wanted to only look at Grizzly Flats, this is only going to bring up listings in Grizzly Flats. Now, it will put the information over for you here. If you add a city and then add a custom feature over here from the More tab, it's going to search both areas. So for instance, in this situation, if we just wanted to look at Grizzly Flats, you would only grab Grizzly Flats over here from the advanced search options. And just a quick heads up here, these are differ from MLS to MLS. They're all different. Your mileage may vary. You may not have horse property here. So, and it is the exact search experience that you or your clients have on the front end of the website. You just name it and go down here and save it. If I put just a couple letters in here, you could see that it says add market. So you don't have to do them just by city or zip code. You can really highlight them. A lot of people in the Coachella Valley and in Florida and areas that do heavy golf areas, they'll do golf courses. And I do want to show you one other feature that our system does, which is really cool. This is actually Folsom Lake up in Northern California. I'm going to click on the little pencil here and draw a polygon map. I'm going to double click this here. And let me zoom this map out a little bit. This is about the area I want to be in. And so within this polygon map, we have 56 listings. If I wanted to go inside of that polygon map and look at horse property, I could do that. If I move this up, there probably will be horse property. So yeah, here's a couple of horse properties. Not all IDX vendors have this feature this way. Most of them don't. You can only draw a polygon map and get specific properties. The advanced search properties usually are not available. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that as well. We literally have people in the Coachella Valley, and this is the Palm Springs area. When I say Coachella Valley, they'll draw them around a golf course. This is iHomefinder.training, and this is a live website. If you need any ideas or footprints, this is a good place to come. Instead of iHomefinder.com, it is iHomefinder.training. And if I go here and I actually look at the Roseville community page, I have pulled in the Roseville market right here. And the reason we call them markets and not saved searches is because they have open houses, which is all the open houses. Now that we're at Thursday, so we're towards the end of the week, especially a holiday weekend. Yeah, there's 69 results. There's 69 open houses, and there'll probably be 100 by tomorrow in this market. And this is Roseville, California. There we go. And when it resolves here, it probably takes a couple extra seconds on your end, but you can see these are the market reports. You have the ability to send these to your clients as well. You have the ability to send your open houses to your clients and your listings as well, all as separate reports. This is Roseville, California. There are 370 active listings, so 69 open houses. That's quite a big chunk of change. Generally, over the years, I've noticed during a holiday weekend, they actually will have a few more open houses than normal. And you can see here, this is $640, $640,000. This is the average median price in the last 30 days. The average active listing is 674. The sale to list price is at 100% right now. It's taking a seller an average of 27 days. Now, this is a 30-day average an average of 27 days to accept an offer. And in the last 30 days, there are 167 homes sold in this market. There's 195 new homes, and then active listings again are 370. And all these pieces of data, these metrics and key point indicators are down here for the last 6 months. And it gives you some additional data if you actually roll over these. So I want you to have a good idea of what a market does. And you can put these on your website. And I'm going to go back here and I'm just going to touch upon this really quickly. You'll notice I have some text on my community pages. The text helps Google find your web page and it raises the search engine optimization score. But I not only have some text here, I also have some answers and questions. This is called answer engine optimization, or AEO. When you have answers and questions on your website, it actually helps artificial intelligence to find your website and get the answers and questions it wants. Artificial intelligence is something that people are doing more and more searches on. And we want to make sure that we are up to date for our websites because we want our digital footprint to be out there and available. Social media is also a big thing. If you're not using Facebook and you're not using Instagram, I would consider starting to use those. If you guys literally go into ChatGPT and say, give me the top 15 agents in real estate agents or the top 15 producing real estate agents in, and just name the main town that you're in or the county, I guarantee you those 15 agents or agencies that come up have a very large social media footprint. So it really helps because we're using Google less and less for searches and artificial intelligence bots like Claude and ChatGPT more and more. Okay. So that was markets in a nutshell here. And now we're going to take a look at the dashboard. These are all the features of our dashboard. And I'm actually going to come out of dark mode here just for a moment. You can see these are the last 6 actionable items here that all the leads have done for my account. And these are a little bit easier to actually see. You have some meters and metrics here. These are a little easier to see when I'm out of dark mode. And you can actually go here and click on, hey, you can see how many site searches. iHomefinder training in March at 368 site searches. That's not very many in April, but remember, this is not a real website. You can also look at your pipeline and see who's uncontacted, who's attempted contact, who's nurturing, etc. If you're on a team system, it will show statistics for your team and the next person in the round robin. If you're not on a team system, you will have the tasks that you've set that are available this week. And then if you have any upcoming dates, here is an email, an automated email that's going out for a transaction anniversary that we did with the lead called Dino Test. And it's going to be a nice email that says, hey, congratulations, it's been 7 years since you purchased your home. These automatic updates will help stimulate referral business for you. We send a couple of those out a year. We're actually going to go into how we do those as well. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back into dark mode. And we're going to go in here and we're going to take a look at the actual lead list. A couple of things that we want to make sure and note here as we look at and we move on to look at the lead list portion of the presentation here. We have a list of many, many leads, and we want to have a lot of information in here so you can just really scroll through your leads and look through them. We want to have all the info here. And one of the things I generally like is the creation date. So I'm going to add that in here. And I also like to see the status. So and generally, I don't use the type line, the mortgage pre-approved, working with another agent, but all of these things can be in here as well. And I right now have this sorted by engagement rating. This is the iHomefinder artificial intelligence backend of our system that's rating their engagement. Anybody who has 3 stars is pretty much ready to buy. And that would apply for both buyers and sellers, by the way. So they're very much ready. But you would want to work leads with stars. You would want to work with leads that are engaged. Now, your mileage is going to vary here, but one thing that I want to make sure and bring up is that this is how the people are using the system, and it's not just how often. This is behavior based. All of our AI is behavior based. And so I can click this just like a spreadsheet, and it's going to go all the way to the bottom to the non-engaged people and all the way to the top to the engaged people. And I could do that on most of these up here. Like if I wanted to see all my last active, I'll click this once. It'll go to people who haven't been active, and then the most people who have been active. And this person was here yesterday. Princess Leah Organa, who we're actually going to work today, was here on the 15th. And you can actually see when your clients are coming to your website. So we can also, let's just go back to the engagement rating here, and we'll look at the engagement. Now, I usually default sort this by engagement rating, by the way. And so you can see a lot of information here. First of all, I have her bookmarked. If I unbookmark it, she will be unbookmarked. That's when you click on that. And everybody's been awake at 10 o'clock at night working on a lead, getting ready to call them in the morning. And all of a sudden you realize, oh, I got to go to bed. And I want to make sure and find this lead tomorrow. So you can go ahead and bookmark it. And you can bookmark multiple leads. And you can do this in our mobile app as well. When you bookmark a lead here, it'll immediately be bookmarked in the mobile app as well. Yeah, I can see the active status. These people are all active. I can see what pipeline stage in. Princess Leah is in attempted contact. So is Dino Test. Joe Homebuyer is also in attempted contact. But I have people down here who are nurturing and different various ways here. We're going to go in how to set this up. I have an amalgamation of buyers and sellers, and then both buyers and sellers. Usually, if a person's a seller, they're also going to buy a home as well. So it's always good to be able to mark them both ways. Creation date of the lead, the last active, are they on a subscription? We want our people on subscriptions. Since I'm on an agent system here, we have which agent actually owns the lead, and then we have some tags here. And I'm going to go inside of here, and we're going to look at some of these specific fields and how you set these up. So our AI has printed out all the activity of every listing that this client has looked at. She's a fake client. We don't have a client named Princess Leah. And you can see that this was clicked by an email or a text. So you can differentiate between what types of information are in here, and you have a really good idea of what they're looking at. I think there's multiple pages here, and there's a timestamp on here of when your client actually looked at this, what day they looked at it, and what time. And just a heads up, one of the cool things here is if you see like duplicates in here, they're not duplicates. Our system does not duplicate. That means the client has gone back and looked at the same listing multiple times. I've actually had emails come in and say, hey, I have a bunch of duplicates in my system, and I'll go look. If you see duplicates like that, that's a great opportunity to go in and call the client up and say, hey, you want to see this listing? I noticed you've looked at it a couple times. So over here, we have subscriptions. These are all the subscriptions they're on. You can see here that I have them on a marketing automation campaign, which we're going to go through later. And I have them on some market subscriptions. So we were looking at Roseville, California. Remember, I said that you could put them on all email subscriptions individually. I have this lead on the open houses report, the market report, and the listing report. And if we actually go in here and look, there is no openings here because none of these emails are actually going out. Not a real email address. It is a test lead, but all the open rates for all of these would be in here, what they opened, when they clicked on it, etc. Same for all of these reports. And I think if I go back here and I actually look at the Dino test lead, we actually have some information in here. Here's a market subscription. These are all inactive now. This would be where you would actually find information that they're looking at. And since the last lead that I actually logged into, the test lead, we'll go back to this one right here. And in the property organizer, now you don't have to do save searches with our system. Our automation and AI, which we're going to go into a little bit later, will actually do it for you. With our system, the days of you having to go through the fire drill of contacting a client as quickly as you can are over. The likelihood that a client is receiving listings from this system before you actually ever contact them is pretty high. So You can create a save search for them, that being said, if you want to, but it's not necessarily. You can also see what they favorited. There's a little heart on every listing, and there's actually a heart on a lead list as well. So if I go back here and I look at all of these, notice all the hearts are here. And if I click that one, it'll ask me to sign in, but you can heart these. So if they're going through a pick list and they're going, oh, I want to look at this one, look at this one, look at this one, but I don't want to do it right now, they can go back and grab them later, and you have the ability to actually see that in this list as well. You can also leave notes about past conversation text as well. You can see here that we have phone call, text, email, and meeting set up. And by the way, when you initiate any of those out of the mobile app, that note will automatically pop up because we don't want you to have to go hunting for it in the mobile app. If you don't want to leave a note, you could just tap the X. It's kind of a nice feature. We also have where we're showing them in the process. Are they nurturing? Are they under contract? Let's go ahead and put Princess Leia Organa under contract, and we'll note here out in the pipeline stage, she's under contract. And again, big blocks of information, having everything here as you're going through big blocks of information to save you time. And one of the last things I want to show here is we designed this page in many, many ways so that when you're calling this client, you're going to have all the information, what they've looked at when they're clicking on listings, what their name is, their phone number, how we have them tagged, the specifics of their buyer, their type. There's a lot of information here that's nice and handy to have. If you click on the edit button here, I'm going to go through most of these right here. So you can see that there's a birthday set up and a transaction anniversary. Those are those email dates that they're going to go out. And we're just going to go out here, and I'm actually going to show you those emails. This is the birthday greeting, and we do these in our communications tool, in our email blast tool. So you can change them to taste for your market. If we wanted to take this happy birthday and go in here and click on this image and say, nope, I want to change this to Happy New Year. Go into our image library and search for Happy New Year and grab a New Year's image that works for you. Change it out. Change the verbiage out to warmest wishes on this new year instead of happy birthday. And now you've changed it to a different greeting. The transaction anniversary is also done in our email blast tool as well. And so you can change these and put them together to suit your taste. All right. So as we go back here and we hit on the edit button inside of this lead here, we're going to go down here. Now there's some specific other things here. If you're on a team system, all your agents can be assigned here. If you're assigning leads manually and you don't have them being assigned automatically through a round robin, for instance, or a zip code. And we also have some other information here that you need to know when you're calling these people on the phone for sure. Are they working with another agent? We're going to change this to yes. We're going to change this to being a seller. We're going to change the timeline to 60 days. We're going to change this lead to warm. I would say a 30-day lead is hot, but this is warm. We're going to change this to $900,000. The price that they want, the mortgage is approved. We're going to change all of these to no, and we've asked them for a referral, yes. So I want you to note over here on the left-hand side where it is kind of dark. When I click save, all that information just changed. And again, this is handy information to have while you are actually calling your client. And so you're going to do a lot of work in here, and you're going to be looking at the lead list quite a bit in here. This is a real estate CRM fully, but only for real estate. The last thing I wanted to go over here is our tagging system. You know, most real estate CRMs will have what they call groups, and they'll name it different things, but it's a group. It'll be like single family dwelling, attached, single family, disattached, meaning it has an attached garage or a disattached garage. Lots of land over 10 acres, lots of land under 10 acres, commercial. If you do commercial listings, we wanted you to be able to put gas station in here. You know, you can create a tag that says anything you want, but we also have a list of industry standard tags here, you know, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and some of these are custom tags here, you know, pre-qualified loan amounts and things like that. This waterfront condo and waterfront condos, these are custom tags here. So now we have waterfront condo as a tag, and I want to show you some of the useful things that these tags do. Again, big blocks of information to disseminate them very quickly. So let's say we have a waterfront condo here. And if we go ahead and click down here, the waterfront condo is going to show up. It depends on how large the tags are. You can see that we have other people in our pipeline that have waterfront condo. So let's say, wow, I have a waterfront condo coming up, and it's going to be a coming soon listing, and it is going to be available June 15th of this year. You can go into the communications tool, and we're going to talk about the communications tool here very briefly. And when you create a list from the communications tool, there's a bunch of filters that you can use. Like, for instance, if you wanted to send an email to all your active listings, or you wanted to send an email to all of your 2 and 3 star listings that are in your system, or if you wanted to send waterfront condo, because you have a coming soon listing, to all 6 people in your pipeline, you would just create the list here from the create a list, click on that tag for waterfront condos, and then everything is as simple as drag and drop. We're going to put a heading in here. We are going to put an image in here, and the image is probably going to be your company logo. And we're probably going to put another image in here, and that's the image of the condo that's coming soon. And maybe you've made a video of the condo. You click on the video here, you put the link in. And what you can do with these types of things is you can not only blast emails out to your clients in a real concise way and actually look at who's opening them, but you can also create drafts. So I have a template here. I'm going to click on edit because I have a template set up for every single email I'm going to set up out of the system. Anything that I ever send, I want to have this email template set up for. And it's going to take a moment to load here since we're on Zoom. And the subject is going to go here. So I'm going to change the subject every time. Here's my real estate company, M Real Estate. Here's the picture of a home that I'll put in. This is where I'm going to put the message. And this is the address of my brokerage, my office address. And this is an email of my partner that I want everybody to see, not an email, a video, excuse me. So all I'm going to do in here is plug in the subject line, grab the image, put the message in here, and send it out. So I already have this all set up, ready to go. I just need to plug the information in. Then you can create those for anything. You can create multiple email drafts in here. You can see that I actually have a backup template of the same email draft. This is a newsletter that I sent out here. We'll go ahead and click on edit here. We're going to let this is the July newsletter from last year. Could be the July newsletter from this year. And notice it says August. I should probably change this, but I'm not going to. Because what I did is I took the July newsletter and I just redid it. And there's my newsletter with all the data in it and the picture. And so that's a very, very nice thing to have there as well. You can also go in here and look at your sent emails. You can go and look at opens. Now, this only had one recipient in here, but you can go and actually see who had clicked and opened on those as well. So that is our email blast tool. Next, we're going to take a look at our texting integration. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on text. And this is our texting integration. And this is how we integrate our system to be able to send your clients listings and messages directly from campaigns that's connected into our artificial intelligence. We're going to send text messages to their phones. Now, the reason we want to send text messages to their phones instead of just email is the open rate nationwide for text messages is 32 to 40%. I've been at iHomefinder for 14 years, and the email open rates have never been 32 to 40%. They're way less than half of that. The open rates are not nearly as high for email. Although when they start getting text messages on their phone and they're getting very, very serious where they really want to start looking at houses, they're going to start opening the emails as well. And this is where you would do the text integration. You would put a cell phone number in here, put a mobile phone number in here. I don't have a mobile phone number in here. I actually changed it. And you'll plug in all the information when you click on adding this to here. And this user interface is actually going to change sometime in the near future. The other thing I want to look at here is marketing automations. These are an integral part of stimulating sales for your system. Now, I have an automation that's set up. I'm going to put everybody in the general follow-up campaign. I do that because we don't know if the person signs up as a buyer or a seller, or they may be a long-term leaser if you do leases and rentals. This campaign, the way it's worded, is appropriate for all of them. But there's other automation rules that you can do as well. Let's say you're doing a Facebook ad campaign and you are targeting home sellers. Well, you would want to put those people on the seller follow-up campaign. You could do an integration where all the Facebook ads come into the system and we save this. And now all of those people come to the seller follow-up campaign if it comes from a Facebook ad. Otherwise, all of them will go to the general follow-up campaign. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete that because I don't need a Facebook campaign set up. And we're going to go here and we're going to look at campaigns. Now, the FSBO campaign that I set up here is a custom campaign, and the Max Live Webinar Test campaign is a custom campaign, but the seller follow-up, the general follow-up, and the buyer follow-up come with your system. They're already pre-written. They're already all set up, but you can create a custom campaign here by clicking on that button as well. We're going to go in and take a look at the general follow-up campaign because this is the one that we put most people on that are outside of a custom campaign. These are all messages here. These are either email or text messages, and you can see each stage is a message. Now, one of the things that I recommend you do when you set these up is I can click here, and this first text message, notice this is set to go out in the first minute. I'm going to click on here, and this is the actual text message. And I put some verbiage in here because I wanted the domain name of my company in here, but I didn't want to make it so they could click or tap on it because I don't want the first message to look spammy. And we have a variable in here that's going to pull the client's first name and the lead owner's name. So it's going to read like this. Hey, Joe Homebuyer, Dino here from EugeneHomesForSale.com. You just signed up on my website. Thanks so much for getting in touch. Is there anything I can do to help you? About 8% of the people will text back. But this is a really important point. I'm sure that most of the people in here have seen the Zillow Premier focus group that they send out every year that says, hey, if you contact your leads within 1 to 5 minutes, the return rate of them getting back to you is going to increase 300%. That is a very accurate depiction. This is why this message, every time I've tested it, goes out in 15 seconds. But what we're doing is the customer signs up and we're touching them within 1 minute via a text message, which is a really, really good thing to have happen because you may have back-to-back showings. You may not be able to pick up the phone or text these people manually for 4 hours. You don't want to wait 4 hours. Now we're going to go down here to stage 4. And we're going to look at this is the first email that goes out that actually has the AI recommended listings. And we're going to look at these really quickly here. You can see here, I have similar listings inside of a bracket. I could actually also send out area statistics, but the similar listings is really, really what gets the market focus going on. So now we're sending them similar listings, and this is based all on their behavior. What they've looked at, what they've clicked on, what their price points are, areas, etc. And we will send them a list either in an email or a text message. And the AI keeps track of that. So let's say they're looking in a specific city and they are looking for a 4-bedroom, 2.5 or 3 bath at a price point of $800,000. So the first time we send them out, and they've looked at 20 listings already on the website, we're going to grab all of that information of everything that they looked at, and we're going to send them 20, 30, 40 listings, depends on what's available. And they only click on one listing. The AI is going to say, why did they click on only that listing and not the other ones? It's going to go through every field in all of the listings that we did it, and it's going to pull it, and it's going to say, this is the only one that has a 3-car garage, or this is the only one that has a pool and a built-in sauna, or this is the only one that has an indoor pool. This is the only one that has a gourmet kitchen. This is the only one, so it's going to find out why they only clicked on one listing out of the 30 we sent them. And then If it's, hey, it has to have a granite countertop in the kitchen, we're going to start to send them more listings with granite countertops. If it's the only listing with the three-car garage, we're going to start to send them more listings with three-car garage. So the point here being is that this is going to adjust every time the client interacts with it. And it's a much quicker way to getting them zoomed in and zoned into exactly what they want, as opposed to having two or three phone conversations with you. And again, remember, these are automatically going to go out. We've set an automation up that's going to send everybody in the general follow-up campaign that signs up. So it's a very, very quick way to set that up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back here to all of these stages. And you can go through here. You can make these your own, stage 10, stage 11, best time to buy or sell. This is an informational email. And by the way, as you go in and if you do augment these and make your own, make sure and keep the email short. About 70% of the client base actually reads the email on their phone. We can detect if it's on their phone. We can also detect if they're looking at listings on their desktop or their mobile device. So keep these short because nobody reads a 10-paragraph email. If you customize these, nobody reads a 10-paragraph email on their phone. But we encourage you to go in and make these your own. This campaign lasts for exactly 6.5 months. You could see what day it goes out. This is day 200. This is day 192. This is day 190. If you decide that you don't want this to go out anymore, you can deactivate it and reactivate it later. You could send a test. And you can also see that this number says send after 8. This is 8 days after the last message. This is 2 days after this message, etc. And the drop down has minutes and days in here as well. So this is really the way to get your clients highly engaged here by using these this overall campaign in here inside of the marketing automation. So now we're going to take a look at lead capture. Lead capture is really important, folks. Lead capture is when they're going to get the pop-up to sign up on your website. The days of making somebody fill that pop-up out before they search on your website or setting them at 1 or 2 are long over in the real estate business. You can't do that anymore. You'll notice I have this system set to 7. And that's about the minimum I'll do unless it's very, very rural. If you only let them see 2 listings and then you want them to sign up, the likelihood that they're going to leave is pretty high. They can go to realtor.com or Redfin and they can look at free listings, although the search experience isn't as good. And one of the things that I do here is I not only let them see about 7 listings, maybe even 10, is I don't govern the search results. I let them do as many searches on the website as they want. I don't, and here's the reason. Every time they do a search, we learn more about what they want. We get something out of letting them search. If they do 3 searches and 3 different zip codes in the same city, and the first 2 searches, they get a list of 50 listings, but they don't look at any of the listings, we know that that's what they don't want. If they get into the 3rd zip code and they look at 15 of the 50 listings we get, and we know that's what they do want. So we get information by letting them do searches. You can also, in your registration pop-up form, you can put custom text in here as well. As a general rule, I do not require them to sign up with a username and password. I just have them use their email address. When they come to the website, we put a session cookie in their web browser, and the session cookie will keep track of everything they look at for 24 months. So if they literally come to your website 23 months and 29 days ago, and then they sign up today, what they looked at almost 2 years ago will be a part of their session. And when you go back and you look at the leads, everything they looked at are there. The reason I don't want to require a password is we want it to be seamless. Once they've signed up, they've already given us their username and their cell phone number. We don't have to bring them back to the website and say, hey, set a password. We want it to be seamless. We want them to click on a listing, come to the listing on your website so they can look at it from an email that shows a thumbnail of the listing. Also, contact forms here. Always leave this captcha on. Don't ever turn this off. You don't want a spam bot to hit your website and propagate it with a whole bunch of fake listings. Okay. One of the other things I want to take a look at here is search settings. I'm going to preview. I'm not sure which system everybody is on, but if you're on the Lead Maximizer or the Growth Pro system, you have the ability to do some custom display text in here. If you're on the Lead Essential system, you don't have the ability to do this, but if you are on the Lead Essential system, this is something that you might want to take a look at. If I go back to iHomefinder.training and I go to the property search page, we have for Lead Maximizer and for Growth Pro systems, we have basically what's called natural language search. So I can go in here and say, I want a 4-bedroom home with a chef kitchen and a pool. I may not actually have this turned on here, but you can search this way and we'll see if this will actually come up. Oh, it did. There are 277 results in the Sacramento area, excuse me, 558 results that meet this criteria. They all have a 4-bedroom with a chef kitchen and a pool. Now, note here, it said chef's kitchen, gourmet kitchen, and chef kitchen. The artificial intelligence backend will do this. Now, I want to be clear here. This is only on Lead Maximizer systems and Growth Pro systems. If you're on a Lead Essential system, this isn't there, but this is something you might want to talk to your salesperson about if you're interested in having a search like this. Another thing I want to bring up really, really quickly here is definitely download the app and put it on your phone. When you have a lead that comes into your system, any of these leads that we're going to show here, if any of these people come onto iHomefinder.training, I get an alert on the phone from the app that says, hey, James IHF or George Jeffson or Princess Leah Organa is on your website right now looking at listings. That's a golden time. It's a good opportunity to send them a text message. All right. So that was everything I had to go through with you today, folks.